Your Excellency, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, External Affairs Minister of India, Your Excellency Mr. Wang Yi, State Councillor and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, distinguished members of the Indian and Chinese media, distinguished officials from the Indian and Chinese delegations, Namaskar, and very welcome to the inaugural session of the 3rd edition of India-China High-Level Media Forum that is organized as part of the India-China High-Level Mechanism for Cultural and People-to-People Exchanges. I now invite official spokesperson Shri Ravish Kumar to present the welcome remarks.
Good afternoon. Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, His Excellency the State Councillor and Foreign Minister of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Wang Yi, senior officials from India and China, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the 3rd India-China High-Level Media Forum. As you are all aware, it is not the first time that we are bringing together media from both countries in this format. This is the 3rd edition of a conference that has already met before, once in India and then in China. It is, however, the first time that the forum is being visualized under the framework of the new format that Prime Minister Modi and President Xi announced in Wuhan earlier this year, the high-level mechanism on cultural and people-to-people exchanges. Media plays an important role in how the people of India and China perceive and understand each other. Incorporating the media forum as part of the high-level mechanism is an important acknowledgement of its role in advancing people-to-people ties between our two countries. We are especially grateful to the External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, and the Foreign Minister of China, Mr. Wang Yi, for taking time out of their busy schedule to address the inaugural session of the 3rd Media Forum. Their statements here, following immediately after the conclusion of the formal talks of the high-level mechanism, will serve to convey to the people the key outcomes of their discussion. In line with the key developmental goals of our bilateral relationship, we have also lined up a series of distinguished speakers from China and India for the 3 panels that will follow the inauguration. The 3 sessions are based on specific themes of enhancing media understanding. Second is on promoting a closer developmental partnership. And the third is proposing a roadmap for future media cooperation. These themes will underpin the discussions between journalists and media organizations of the 2 countries and form the basis for a detailed report that will be shared in due course. We are also delighted to welcome the members of the Chinese media delegation to India, who are simultaneously undertaking a familiarization trip to India. These regular exchanges that have been instituted by both the Chinese and the Indian foreign ministries provide an opportunity for frequent interactions amongst media at different levels and give exposure outside of our respective capitals. I now invite Honorable External Affairs Minister, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, to deliver her address to the media. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Mr. Wang Yi, State Councillor and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, who is also my close friend and my brother, and all of those people from both sides, the distinguished members of the Indian and Chinese delegations who've been with us the whole day, and the distinguished members of the Indian and Chinese media attending the India-China High-Level Media Forum. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me I would first like to tell you about the uniqueness and the background of this meeting. In the last 4.5 years, we've had many dialogues and discussions with the foreign minister, not only in India and China, but other third countries also. Several times we have met at multilateral meetings like RAC, BRICS, and SCO. And we have had many discussions on the sidelines of these meetings also. However, I would like to say, and I'm sure Prime Minister will agree with me, that our today's meeting was very unique and very different from all of the other meetings that we've had so far. And the reason for that is that our meeting today was focused only on two subjects. One subject and topic was cultural relations between India and China, and the other was people-to-people relations between India and China. All of the discussions that we had so far are very long. However, this particular topic used to just form a small portion, just one point in those discussions. And I think Foreign Minister Wang Yi and I can probably agree that a maximum of 10 minutes was spent on these two topics. However, today we had a 2-hour-long discussion, and these 2 hours were spent in only talking about these two topics. That is, one is India and China's cultural relations and our people-to-people interactions. And like I mentioned, the background. Firstly, in this background, I would like to thank our two big leaders, Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and the President of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, who had laid the foundation of this meeting that we had today. And this is their maturity and their foresightedness, that they thought that while we have many collaborations, that should be kept aside. But I think that the collaboration and interaction within people, once this increases, the relations between the two countries will be strengthened. There was an informal summit in Wuhan, and at that time they both decided that we will have only for cultural exchanges and people-to-people exchanges. Just for this, we should have a special arrangement, a special mechanism. And they did not leave that mechanism to just officials. They made this mechanism to be the responsibility of the foreign ministers. And the name is high-level mechanism, which means it is a high-level arrangement which has been made between the two countries. So you can understand that the two leaders have put in mind that unless we have better relations between the people of the two countries, we cannot have good cooperation between the two countries. And that's how this mechanism came to be. And I'm happy that in Wuhan we had the first meeting, and in December, that was in April, and then in December we have this meeting. In this very short period of time, we have not only made arrangements for this meeting, but all of the talks that need to be. He said that if you're going to have this meeting, will be in December, I'll be willing to come. And this is the foresightedness of our two leaders, which we have been able to make a reality. And like I mentioned, for a very long time, these were the only two topics we discussed. And we have selected 10 areas of people-to-people exchange and cultural exchange in which we will be active. So this is the cultural exchange, and people-to-people exchange will be placed on 10 pillars. The first would be cultural exchange. The second is cooperation in film and television. Then there will be cooperation in museum management, cooperation in sports, youth exchange and cooperation in tourism, and also exchanges at state and city level, exchanges in traditional medicine, and cooperation in yoga. And the last one would be educational cooperation. And our discussion was across all of these fields. Both sides reviewed positively our cooperation in these areas and made constructive and meaningful suggestions to further enhance our cooperation in order to promote greater cultural and people-to-people exchanges. I am very satisfied with the quality of our discussions today. I'm also very encouraged by the keen interest shown by both sides in coming up with new and concrete ideas. Our high-level mechanism has certainly had a very good beginning. I'm confident that this high-level mechanism will help our two sides in building greater synergies in our people-to-people ties. Our two sides are also organizing several side events around the high-level mechanism to showcase the depth and breadth of our cultural and people-to-people exchanges. This high-level media forum is an important part of the high-level mechanism. So is the think tank forum, the third round of which was hosted by the ICWA yesterday and today. A Chinese delegation of academia and scholars is taking part in this forum. Apart from this, later this evening, the Indian Council of Cultural Relations will also host an India-China Cultural Evening to mark the launch of the high-level mechanism. Several other events, including an India-China Film Festival, are also being organized. Friends, India-China High-Level Media Forum is one of the most important events of our high-level mechanism and underscores the important role played by the media of our two countries in building mutual understanding. Our two countries are increasing the scope of our bilateral, regional, and international discussions. In this context, the role of our media becomes critical in facilitating a sound understanding of each other's interests and viewpoints. I'm confident that our media will fully utilize the platform provided by this forum and have constructive talks with a view to contributing a stronger India-China media relationship, which in turn would make a positive contribution to our closer development partnership.
Friends, our two great countries represent almost 1/3 of humanity and are among the fastest growing economies in the world. Moreover, we are neighboring countries. That makes this relationship even more special. This special partnership is important not just at a regional level, but globally as well. The informal summit between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping in Wuhan in April this year was a milestone in our bilateral relationship. Since Wuhan, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi have met 3 times this year. They have not only established a personal connection, but also laid out strategic guidance to further advance our closer development partnership. At the Wuhan summit, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping reached a consensus that both countries are partners for progress and development. Thanks to the economic reforms carried out in China over the last 40 years, it has grown rapidly and has become the second largest economy in the world. India too has had robust growth and is well on the path to becoming a $5 trillion economy by 2025. Though we have differences in our governance systems, our goals are similar. And our goal is to raise the standard of living of our people, eliminate poverty, provide health care for all, impart skills to our youth, upgrade our industrial capacities, and acquire technology that can elevate us to the ranks of the leading economies of the world. In this context, we can benefit by understanding each other and also by sharing our own development-related experiences. Following the Wuhan summit, our relationship has witnessed all-round development. Showcasing the Wuhan spirit, this year witnessed significant high-level bilateral engagements, including visit of the Minister of Defense and Public Security of China and Foreign Minister Wang Yi's own visit to India. Our bilateral economic relations have also progressed well. While our bilateral trade figures continue to rise, we also need to find a solution to the continuously increasing trade deficit. In this regard, we would like to express our gratefulness for the concrete steps taken by the Chinese side in the last few months. We are confident we will receive continued support from the Chinese side so that we can increase our bilateral trade in a sustainable and balanced way, and also in facilitating market access for Indian goods and services in China. The armies of our two countries are also making efforts to strengthen contacts and implement various confidence-building measures. This will help to promote peace and tranquility in the India-China border areas, which is an important prerequisite for smooth development of our bilateral relations. India and China today are also working together with each other on regional and international subjects. We are partners in many multilateral groupings such as the G20, BRICS, RIC, SCO, etc. At a time of global uncertainty, the relations between India and China are a factor of stability. This is important guidance given to us by our leaders. We conclude this year with the satisfaction of having made good progress in our bilateral relations. We are preparing an ambitious agenda for next year as well. We are confident that the visit of President Xi Jinping to India next year for the second informal summit will add another new facet to our continuously expanding closer developmental partnership. With respect to cultural and people-to-people exchanges, the high-level mechanisms have strengthened our relations in a big way. I hope, as an important component of that effort, the India-China High-Level Media Forum will have productive discussions today and come up with new ideas to further the friendship between our media and the people of our two countries. With these words, I wish the Media Forum all success. I hope you all have productive and positive discussions. My very best wishes to you for this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would now like to invite State Councillor and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Wang Yi, to deliver his remarks.
Friends from the press of both China and India, I fully agree with my good friend, Foreign Minister Swaraj. I agree with her positive comments on our meeting today and also her summary of the progress made in China-India relations in various fields. This morning, Foreign Minister Swaraj and I co-chaired the very first meeting of China-India high-level mechanism on cultural and people-to-people exchanges. The meeting was a full success. The setup of this mechanism is a common understanding between President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi. This shows our leaders' great attention to and high expectations for people-to-people and cultural exchanges. At this morning's meeting, we reviewed progress made in various fields of people-to-people exchanges. We had a profound exchange of views on future cooperation, and we forged common understandings in various fields. For instance, we will greatly increase the mutual visits by our visitors. The current number is only about one. The current number is very small one given the total size of our combined population of 2.7 billion. And we also have, both of us have many mega cities. And in this context, the number of our sister cities is still too small. Both our two countries also have many teenagers and young people, and there is much can be done in cooperation on sports and education. We both agree that as China-India cooperation embraces a strong momentum of full growth, people-to-people exchanges must also step up, and this will be helpful to increase our people-to-people mutual understanding and friendship. It will also help consolidate the popular basis for state-to-state relations. At the same time, both China and India are celebrated civilizations. Enhanced people-to-people exchanges and cultural communication between China and India will also serve as a driving force for the progress of the entire mankind. I believe the common understandings we have reached can be summarized as follows. First, we both agree that people-to-people exchanges between China and India are good for both countries as well as the world. Active efforts in this regard can help consolidate popular bases for China-India friendship, boost sound and healthy growth of China-India relations, stimulate our two countries' prosperity and rejuvenation, and help us explore new paths for harmonious exchanges and mutual learning between civilizations. Secondly, we both agree that it is right time to expand people-to-people exchanges, and much more can be done. The important common understandings between our leaders have provided us with important guidelines. The historic tradition of cultural communication provides us with profound basis, and fast development of our two countries and bilateral relations mean rich resources. We must make the most of these sound conditions and actively expand people-to-people and cultural exchanges between our two countries. Thirdly, we both agree that we shall leverage respective strengths in various fields. We agree that of the 10 topics or priorities we have discussed, cultural communication and heritage protection, education cooperation and language teaching, tourism cooperation and people-to-people exchanges, youth, mutual visits and sports exchanges, media exchange and public opinion, academic and think tank cooperation, subnational and sister city cooperation, film and TV cooperation and joint production will be 8 priority areas for cooperation going forward. The competent departments of both sides will make specific plans, leverage various resources and strengths in various fields, and engage in colorful exchange activities. Fourthly, we have agreed that we shall develop brand projects of people-to-people exchanges. We agree to work for continued success of the Think Tank Forum, China-India Forum, pilgrimage tours, Happy China New Year celebrations, Confucius Institute youth exchanges, museum communication, the high-level media forum, and the joint medical teams. These have already become regular programs, while at the same time we will also explore new brand projects of exchanges, expand cooperation into broader areas, and increase the visibility and influence of our exchange programs. Fifth, we both agree that people-to-people exchanges must be from the people and for the people. We shall encourage participation by government and various social sectors, run more popular and accessible exchange programs so that our people from various social sectors will truly benefit from our work, and more people will pitch in China-India friendship. Six, we both agree that we shall take active part in people-to-people exchanges under the frameworks of the SCO, BRICS, East Asia Cooperation, and Ancient Civilizations Forum, in an effort to serve as a driving force for regional and global peace and development. Setting up this high-level mechanism for people-to-people and cultural exchanges is a major initiative in the history of China-India relations. This very first meeting has been a good beginning, a full success. I firmly believe that with personal commitment and support from our leaders, with joint efforts of various departments, and with active participation of our peoples, China-India people-to-people exchanges and cultural cooperation will embrace a bright future and benefit the 2.7 billion people of China and India. Let me also take this opportunity to express warm congratulations on the grand opening of this third high-level media forum. The forum has played a very important role in enhancing mutual understanding between the media of our two countries. It has become a brand project. President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi attach great importance to media communication. They encourage media of both countries to make more reports of our friendship and cooperation in an effort to build an objective and friendly public opinion environment. We must fully implement the common understandings between our leaders, enhance media communication and cooperation to bring our peoples closer to each other, and do more to promote across-the-board development of China-India cooperation. China has just celebrated the 40th anniversary of reform and opening up. President Xi has proposed new objectives for reform and opening up in the new era. The Chinese people are working hard for the realization of the two centenary goals. India, our most important neighbor, is also pursuing reform and building a new India. We congratulate India on its achievements in development. Under the strategic guidance of our leaders, China-India relationship is growing strongly and has entered a new historical stage. This has presented major opportunities for the media of two countries to enhance cooperation. It is our hope that the media from communities from both countries will further enhance understanding about each other's national system and social system and culture, to spread more stories about China-India friendship and present a real China, a real India, and the ever-growing China-India friendship to our peoples and the international community. Again, I wish the third China-India High-Level Media Forum a full success. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The statements are now over. I invite you to join us for tea, and we will assemble for the 3 panel sessions of the India-China Media Forum in 10 minutes in the adjoining room, the media briefing hall. Thank you very much.
Thank you.